Welcome to a meeting of your Planning Commission, the official local planning agency for the cities of Tampa, Temple Terrace, Plant City, and unincorporated Hillsborough County. The Planning Commission provides innovative leadership and long-range vision that contributes to the creation of a thriving, prosperous community that offers opportunity, fairness, and choice in how we live, move, learn, work, and play. For more information about the Planning Commission, please call 813-272-5940. Follow us on social media or visit our website at planhillsborough.org.
Welcome to the June 12, 2023 public hearing of the Planning Commission on City of Plant City Comprehensive Plan Amendments. We thank you for attending this meeting. Your comments and participation are encouraged. For those attending in person and wishing to speak on any agenda item, please sign the register at the rear of the room and turn off any devices that may be a distraction. To minimize feedback in the audio, all online participants in the meeting will be muted until it is their opportunity to speak. Planning commissioners should unmute themselves to indicate that they would like to speak. Please be sure to state your name at the beginning of your remarks for the benefit of the clerk. There will be an opportunity for members of the public to provide comments. When your name is called, you will be unmuted when it is your turn to speak. Please wait until the chair calls on you to begin speaking. State your name at the beginning of your comments and adhere to the time limits. If anyone has difficulties or is watching via HTV and would like to provide comments to be included in the record for local government hearing, please email them to planner@plancom.org. For those of you who are not familiar with our process, the meeting will be conducted as follows. The agenda item will be introduced. Staff will give their presentation with a 15-minute time limit. The applicant will be given an opportunity to make a presentation with a 15-minute time limit. Following presentations, members of the public may address the Planning Commission when recognized by the chairman. Please remember that public comment will be heard for 3 minutes per person. The applicant will be afforded a 3-minute period for rebuttal or response. Planning commissioners will then ask questions. Public comment will be closed, and upon a motion, a second, and discussion, a vote will be taken. With that, I'd like to please ask the clerk to go ahead and call roll.
Good evening, Commissioners. Bernstein?
Here.
Bowden?
Here.
Buzza?
Here.
Cardenas? Commissioner Cardenas? Fernandez?
Here.
Handy? Commissioner Handy? Kress?
Here.
Lauk? Commissioner Lauk? Surya?
Here.
Orton?
Here.
Rodriguez? Commissioner Rodriguez? Joseph?
Here.
Thank you. You have quorum.
Thank you. All right. Our first and only agenda item is 2A PCCPA 22-15 Future Land Use Map Amendment north of Swindell Road, east of Charlie Taylor Road, and the presenter is Krista Kelly.
Thank you, Krista Kelly, Planning Commission staff. This evening I'm presenting for you Plant City Map Amendment, PCCPA 22-15. This is a privately initiated large-scale map amendment. It's approximately 243 acres in size. The majority of the site is within the city limits of Plant City, and 66 acres are in the unincorporated county pending a voluntary annexation. The applicants requested a change from Hillsborough County's Residential 1 and Hillsborough County Residential Rural 1 to 5 designation to the Plant City Industrial classification. The red star on the location map on this slide shows the location of the proposed plan amendment. It is in the northeast quadrant of Plant City. It is also within the boundaries of the Northeast Plant City Area Master Plan. At a street level, the site is located on the north side of Swindell Road. It's east of Charlie Taylor Road and west of the Hillsborough and Polk County line. The site is adjacent to roads that access the I-4 interchange, including County Line Road and Frontage Road. This is a bird's eye view of the site identified by the red flags, generally located, and also the surrounding area. As you see, the development pattern is distinctly different between Hillsborough County and Polk County, from specifically adjacent to the I-4 interchange. On the Polk County side, the area reflects an emerging cluster of industrial uses on Swindle Road adjacent to the I-4 interchange. This development pattern appears to emanate from the existing and established industrial corridor evident south of I-4. On the Hillsborough County side, including the amendment site, the area reflects a rural residential development pattern with a mix of land uses, including agricultural uses, undeveloped tracts, scattered residential home sites, and rural neighborhoods. The residential development is focused along, primarily along both sides of Swindell Road, on the north side of, and also on the north side of Frontage Road, to the south of the amendment site, extending west to Charlie Taylor Road. The subject site obtains its sole access from a portion of the site, this lower flag here, onto Swindell Road. Other roads serving the amendment site, as I mentioned earlier, are County Line Road on the boundary here between Polk and Hillsborough County. This terminates on at Swindell Road. There's also Frontage Road and Charlie Taylor Road, which is out of the screen, but it's to the west of this amendment site, approximately less than 2 miles. These are photographs of the amendment site. This photograph shows the amendment site looking north from Swindell Road. This is looking east towards Polk County down Swindell Road. The subject site is out of the frame to the left. As you can see in Polk County, there are industrial scale development, warehousing, distribution, and office uses. This is looking west down Swindell Road towards Myrtle Lane and Charlie Taylor Road. The subject site again is out of the site and it's to the right in this area. This is looking from Swindell Road north down Myrtle Lane. The subject site abuts this neighborhood on the west, north, and a portion of the east side. We are continuing down Swindell Road. We are at the intersection of Swindell and Charlie Taylor Road. We're looking east from the northeast corner. The subject site is approximately 3/4 of a mile from this intersection. And this is looking northwest from that same intersection of Charlie Taylor and Swindell Road. I would like to point out that there is a pending map amendment 2210 that is currently being proposed for the site. They are seeking a change to Plant City Industrial on the entire site. Continuing northward on Charlie Taylor Road, I wanted to show some of the development patterns emerging in the area. This is looking at the west entry to Varia, if I'm pronouncing that right. This is a large mixed-use planned community under construction. It also consists of residential, suburban scale residential, and a village center, which includes over 400,000 square feet of non-residential use focused at Knights Griffin Road and Charlie Taylor. This is the adopted future land use map showing the amendment site shown in shaded white for the portions in the Plant City limits. The underlying land use continues to be Hillsborough County Residential 1 and Agricultural Rural 1 to 5. The area shaded light green and lighter green is Agricultural Rural and Residential 1. This is the area pending an annexation into the city. As you see to the north, the area is predominantly Agricultural Rural 1 to 5, and residential 1. To the west, you see the amendment site I pointed out. This is designated residential 4. It was amended and adopted last year, the end of last year. Across Charlie Taylor Road is the amendment site I shared with you at the intersection of Charlie Taylor Road and Swindell Road. This one is under consideration. To the south of the site, you see the areas designated residential 1. There are industrially designated properties abutting the interchange. These properties are in the county. This is the proposed future land use map showing the site designated industrial. Again, you see the area surrounding it is agricultural, rural, and residential, residential 4, and residential 1 to the south. And again, around the interchange, there is the Hillsborough County light industrial designation. Under the current designations for the site, up to 122 dwelling units and up to 1.6 million square feet of non-residential use could potentially be developed on site. If the amendment were to be approved, the residential uses would not be permitted, and up to 5.3 million square feet of non-residential could be permitted. Overall, the proposed amendment will result in the elimination of residential development and will introduce industrial uses in this area of northeast Plant City. This amendment was distributed for agency review, and we did receive a number of comments. The Plant City Planning and Zoning Department noted that the industrial designation is inconsistent with the development pattern envisioned by the Northeast Plant City Area Master Plan scenario map. The map shows the area as agricultural and natural preservation. It would also introduce industrial type traffic through a residential area. Those were the Plant City's concerns. The EPC, or Environmental Protection Commission, noted that there are wetlands on site and noted that these wetlands would be protected and reviewed at the time of permitting and site review, which is later in the process. Hillsborough County Community and Infrastructure Planning Department objected to the plan amendment on the basis that there was a lack of transportation analysis. As we have with other amendments, we note that the Plant City jurisdiction reviews traffic analysis at the zoning stage and through the zoning process, and it would be handled at a different time. This is the Northeast Plant City Area Master Plan Preferred Land Use Scenario Map. That is a mouthful. This map is part of the Northeast Master Plan. In addition to reviewing the adopted future land use map, we also reviewed this map for consistency. Before I go into this map, I wanted to give you a little background on the Northeast Plant City Master Plan. This was, or is, an award-winning master plan project. It achieved the Master of Planning and Urban Design Award in 2009. This plan was awarded this due to its proactive vision and the use of smart growth principles. The master plan's vision and key goals could be summarized as enhancing hometown community charm of the communities in the Northeast area, efficiently accommodating new growth, preserving the rural areas, implementing a village center concept, and protecting the environmental sensitive resources in this area. The preferred land use scenario map is an integral component of this master plan for the purpose of implementing these key goals. Okay, now we revisit the master plan map, and you see the site is primarily designated agricultural with some recreation and open space around the perimeter and natural preservation to the south. There is one portion that is designated industrial on this map, and it is adjacent to the interchange and other properties adjacent to the interchange. Staff reviewed it for consistency with the Plant City Comprehensive Plan and found that it is inconsistent with a number of policies. I'm going to go through them very quickly. They are in your packet for your review. The proposed change to industrial is inconsistent with policies that seek to maintain adequate land designated for residential use and to protect the viability of neighborhoods. It's inconsistent with those policies that deal with preserving and enhancing hometown charm of communities by implementing design guidelines and land use scenarios consistent with special area plans, including the Northeast Master Plan. It is inconsistent with those policies that encourage fiscally responsible growth in coordination with available infrastructure. Those policies that deal with promoting compatibility between existing agricultural and non-agricultural uses, the coordination of interjurisdictional development review and environmental and transportation agencies, and the Planning Commission. And also, the Planning Commission found it inconsistent with promoting compatibility for target development of budding residential development. And lastly, in the environmental section of the Plant City Plan, staff found that it was inconsistent with ensuring the protection of the functions and amenities of the natural environment and the city's natural heritage under the projected growth scenario. Based on these considerations and sources of review, the Planning Commission staff recommends that the proposed map amendment be found inconsistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the Plant City Comprehensive Plan. And that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Does the applicant have a presentation?
Mr. Chair, may I pass out some documents while I'm getting the presentation queued up? These are letters of support. I wasn't sure if they all made it into your packet. Are y'all able to see the presentation now?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, Jake Kramer with Stearns Weaver Miller, 401 East Jackson Street, number 2100. For the applicant, our team is here tonight. If you have any questions later, the developer, Austin Jones with Blue Steel, Phil Waldron, the former planning manager and city manager for Plant City, Cynthia Spidell, an AICP planner, as well as the engineering team from Kimley Horn. So I'm just going to jump right in. You're probably wondering after that staff report, Jake, what are you doing here? What does this project have going for it? And I think a lot, actually. We're in the Northeast Master Plan. As staff mentioned, this is one of the main areas where the comprehensive plan directs growth in Plant City. And as you can see here, this industrial application is closely connected to the industrial node that 4 jurisdictions plus FDOT say is emerging right in this location. Plant City, Hillsborough County, City of Lakeland, and Polk County are all actively not just planning for a node, but the node is being implemented. The reality doesn't stop on the county line, so I think we have to take that into account, that these adjacent jurisdictions are actively planning and making industrial, or bringing industrial to this area, as well as FDOT. This industrial application is supported by Plant City EDC, as well as our largest neighbors, and it will bring a $200 million plus investment into the community. So we think there are 5 reasons why you should support this application tonight. The first, as I'll explain, is that macroeconomic factors are making Plant City an ideal location for a large industrial project like this. Second is that with the demand in these new types of this isn't your grandfather's industrial. This is modern light industrial, and these types of uses need very large tracts of land, and there aren't many left. Third is the proximity to I-4. This will be the closest industrial park to I-4 in all of Plant City. I'll say it again. This will be the closest industrial park to I-4 in all of Plant City. The wetlands provide a natural buffer so that to ensure that this industrial node that's developing can only get so big. They provide a natural buffer. And finally, as I'll explain, residential does not work in this location. So the industrial demand, it's accelerating. Anyone who's driven down I-4 between Tampa and Orlando, you all have probably seen it, that these buildings are getting larger and larger and larger. So you might be wondering why. The reason why is it was occurring before COVID, but it's accelerated since then. The entire market for light industrial post-COVID is very different than it was 3, 4, 5 years ago. Industrial vacancy rates are very low, and tenants are requiring larger and larger spaces. You may have seen this graphic before. This shows the acceleration in those large deals, the velocity of these large deals in the Tampa Bay market. The tenants are requiring larger and larger spaces. 1 million square feet was unheard of 5 years ago, and that's quickly becoming the norm, and it's all because of the e-commerce boom. So there's 3 factors that are driving this trend. The market has changed dramatically from hub and spoke to a bulk model where you need to get as many goods as possible as close to people as possible because of e-commerce. Second, there are not enough large parcels in South Florida really to fully anticipate and realize these types of projects. And so that's pushing these projects north. And then third, we have a competitive advantage over Georgia because in Florida, our trucks, when we send them out of the state, they're very likely to come back with goods. So Florida as a whole has a competitive advantage, and all of that gets concentrated in the I-4 corridor, as you all can see anytime you drive along the corridor now. So with that macroeconomic factor pushing this growth to Plant City, really the city has not adjusted from a public planning perspective to this new reality. The Northeast Master Plan was developed in the mid-2000s. This shows you the industrial land designated in the Northeast Master Plan and what it's actually being used for. Everything in red, over 400 acres that were planned for industrial, are not being used for industrial today. Then we thought, well, let's see how the city's had explosive growth. We all know that. How is the city keeping up with job growth? What's going on what's the trend? And in 5 years, the city has only changed the FLU to industrial on 75 acres. The 449 acres you see in process, 2 applications. This one and one that you heard back in September, that application is on hold and it's not moving forward currently. Then we looked at Plant City annexations for the past 5 years. Is the city keeping up? And the answer is no. Of over 1,200 acres annexed, only 117 have a FLU of industrial and only 40 have industrial zoning. So we've got incredible demand pressure, but the city's not increasing supply to keep up with this new modern light industrial. So the third factor we think you should be considering tonight is proximity, location, location, location. If you tried to design a better site for an industrial location, I can't think of a better one than one that is only a quarter mile from the interstate, and that is adjacent to, as you can see here, an existing industrial facility. And it's very close to less than a mile from FDOT is going to be making a massive investment in Plant City, building a modern truck parking facility because FDOT, the state, recognizes that this is becoming an industrial node. You'll also note the area in orange. That area is in Hillsborough County. It's in permitting now for a truck fueling facility. We're coordinating with the owner of that facility to work on access issues and transportation. So again, that's adjacent to our project. And again, the Northeast Master Plan, I think we would all agree it's a little bit outdated. It was developed in the mid-2000s, but it recognizes that this is an industrial node. We're not asking to introduce industrial. You've seen the industrial that exists in this area. We're not asking you, even from a planning perspective, to introduce industrial. The Northeast Master Plan already plans for this area to be industrial. All we're asking you to do is increase the size of the node to take advantage of modern light industrial uses. Again, you can see here how Lakeland and Polk County, this is just across the line. It's nothing but industrial zoning in this area. This is what they're planning for right now. Again, that industrial use we're adjacent to across the county line. And here's why we planned our access where we did. Those arrows are our access. Our access is in the area planned for industrial today by the Northeast Master Plan. Hillsborough County also planning for this area to be industrial. Hillsborough County industrial future land use to the south, Hillsborough County future land use north of Swindell, as well in the truck fueling facility that I mentioned. Now, the natural environment helps provide a natural buffer for this developing node. You may be thinking, well, how big can this get? This project is in red. Wiggins Prairie Mitigation Bank is to the north of that. In green, we have a letter of support from them. That land will be conserved forever. That's a commitment you have to make to run a mitigation bank. There's a conservation easement on that land. It was planned originally for residential by the Northeast Master Plan. No one knew this was coming, but now that presents a barrier to the north so that you don't have other types of development eventually encroaching near industrial. The Futch PD was approved. That's the yellow to the west of this site. We've been working with that developer, Taylor Morrison, and we have a letter of no objection from them. So we're actively working together to make sure those uses are complementary. As you all probably know, the Plant City Comprehensive Plan does encourage industrial to be located near residential. And this is the site plan. So there is a site plan going forward. This is going to be a package that ultimately goes to the planning board as well as the Plant City City Commission. And I just want you to see that the scale of development, we're taking all of this into account. The wetlands, you can see there's a very large wetland system to the southwest of the project that provides for a very nice buffer to the residential homes that are existing along Swindell Road. So that's being retained. There's very minimal wetland impacts. The wetlands are also being preserved as much as possible on the eastern side of the site. So again, these wetland systems, the conservation to the north, the wetland systems to the southeast, those are providing some really nice buffering for the residential that's at the location now. And then finally, residential is not appropriate in this location. We heard that's part of this land is planned by the Northeast Master Plan for residential. Unfortunately, that's just not viable here. The previous landowner or previous landowners worked for almost 20 years to plan this site for residential. There was a residential PD that was it took a long time to get approved. It was eventually approved in early 2006, and then the project was actually permitted for residential development, and it was marketed for many, many years. No one bought it. So I think that if you can't get a residential site developed in probably the most impressive housing boom in a generation, I don't think it's going to happen, folks. The other thing is utilities. The utilities are a very big issue in Plant City right now. And most of the utilities in the Northeast Master Plan are having to be provided by private developers. The city can't do it on its own in this location. And when you have utility capacity constraints, industrial use is a great use to take advantage of that. If you can't bring the utilities to make a residential development happen, industrial uses far, far less utilities and would be a much better use of this site. And then on the trip generation, I just wanted to reinforce that I know that your staff can't take this into account in their analysis, but the PD we've proposed to the city, we're only proposing 1.6 million square feet, so much less than the 5.3 theoretical maximum. So I wanted you to know that, which would obviously bring the trip counts down. So in conclusion, we'd ask for your support tonight. The Northeast Master Plan, which is the driving force in this area, currently envisions industrial in this area. The node needs to be modernized because the node today doesn't take into account the types of modern light industrial that we have today. Logistics like we have today was not even contemplated when the Northeast Master Plan was originally developed. So with that, Plant City EDC and our two largest neighbors are in support of the project. We'd ask for your support. Our team is here if you have any questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We've got quite a few people sign up on this one, so I am going to start virtually first, I guess, because I see some running around going on here still. We have a Ryan Williams signed up virtually to speak on this item. Is Ryan Williams on the line, HTV?
I do not see a Ryan Williams on the line.
Okay, how about Joe DiCristina?
I do not see Joe on the line.
Oh, okay, sorry. 2215, there we go. Lene Luttrell. Person. Okay. Joshua Briggs. Okay. Travis Luttrell, I'm assuming, is in person also. Okay. Karen Teston. Is Karen Teston on the line?
I do not see a Karen Teston.
Okay. No listening. And that was it for online. So now let's go to the people who are present. I just called them. Yeah, I called everybody online. Yeah. Switch to the in-person list now. Sorry. Bear with me here. All right. So first we'll start with Erica Larson.
I am representing Mount Enon Primitive Baptist Church, which is technically not part of this proposed annexation.
Can you state your name for the record, please?
Sure, it's Erica Larson, ERICA-LARSON.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We are in direct opposition. We wanted to be on record to make note of that based on some prior issues with our real estate and Fred Futch. And so we wanted to be on record to note that we are in direct opposition of this and do not wish to be annexed.
Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Jane Graham. Remember to say your name and 3 minutes per person.
Good evening, Planning Commission. I would respectfully ask that I'm an attorney representing Lene and Travis Luttrell. If the three
Your
of
name,
us
please.
could, Jane Graham.
Thank you.
If I may request 15 minutes for the three of us in total.
You can get 9 minutes. It's 3 minutes per person.
Okay.
So one individual, meaning you two won't speak.
Oh,
This individual will speak for 9 minutes, and you two don't get your 3 minutes to speak. Other than that, then each one of you will get 3 minutes per person.
all right. In that case, we'll do three minutes per person.
Okay, well, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, Planning Commission. My name is Jane Graham of Sunshine City Law, 737 Main Street, Safety Harbor. I represent Lene Luttrell and Travis Luttrell, who own an 18-acre parcel at 4708 Charlie Taylor Road, just a little bit down the road from the site in question. They live there and run a horse boarding facility on site. The Luttrells oppose this, and we request that you deny this application tonight. Sometimes you have applications that are close calls, but this one is not. This is actually an easy one where your Planning Commission staff has already provided ample reason why this should be denied. To go through some of these, the big picture is that the amendment is simply inconsistent with the goals of the comprehensive plan and the Northeast Plant City Master Plan. In particular, policy 2.6.2 speaks to the fact that this site is in the periphery of the residential area and intentionally designated as agricultural, rural, natural preservation, and recreation and open space. This visibly and substantially diverges from the preferred land use scenario. This is not language that I'm making up. This is in your staff report. The Luttrells live slightly north of the site and have witnessed an abundance of wildlife and numerous occasions of flooding in the area. And this site is needed for the continued protection of environmentally sensitive lands, as well as considering residential down the road. The staff report concludes that the proposed introduction of industrial designation in this area would be adverse and perpetuate encroachment into a burgeoning suburban community envisioned by the Northeast Plant City Area Master Plan. Simply is not consistent. You heard from counsel for the applicant that there's not a demand for residential. But we would say that the MPUD that he cited, which was approved in 2006, happened to be 2 years before 2008 when there was a crash. So you should take that into account. Additionally, in speaking about the demand for industrial, a counselor actually said, well, there's not enough parcels in South Florida for this. So I ask you, a Hillsborough Planning Commission, do you want to be displacing neighborhoods in Hillsborough County for warehouses that are serving Miami? I think the answer is no. There are numerous other inconsistencies with the comprehensive plan, especially relevant to my client's environmental and flooding concerns. I've actually providing a letter which I would like to submit into the record that includes, it addresses these issues, but on top of that, it has some pictures from the comprehensive plan. How much time?
I think that's it. That's it. That's your 3
Okay.
minutes.
Okay, well,
But you can submit the letter into the record.
Yeah, I
and
will submit it in the record so you can see it. And
All
just finally, as far as strain on transportation infrastructure, take a close look at the numbers. It's really a huge difference, and I ask you to look at that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right. Next up, I will go to Travis Luttrell. We'll keep the connectivity of the message here, at least.
How do I make it present? What's that? Okay. My name is Travis Luttrell. My wife and I, Lene, live at 4708 Charlie Taylor Road in unincorporated Hillsborough County, just outside of the Plant City limits, and I'm here tonight to ask that you deny this future land use map amendment. Could you please show the pictures? Thank you. In 2009, we began our search for acreage that was located in the rural and protected areas so that we could build our dream business of a horse boarding community. After years of searching in 2011, we found the 18 acres in northeast Plant City near Polk County border that was zoned rural and agricultural in nature. The area is surrounded by strawberry farms, cattle pastures, and established rural neighborhoods. The Lower Green Swamp Nature Preserve is a quarter-mile away and provides miles of trails for our equestrian boarders as well as riders. While it seemed ideal, we still did our due diligence. We were assured that Hillsborough County had agencies who monitored the land uses by percentages and that this area was slated to remain rural. Plant City's future land map also showed the 5 square miles around the property remaining rural because 80% of the area lies in a watershed for Ithapagasassa Creek. We were also told that the creek, which is our eastern border, actually increases our property's value. Knowing all of this, we felt sure that the 18 acres was officially located in a protected rural area, and we spent our life savings and moved our horses to our new home. After 4 years of renovating a tiny farmhouse and getting 18 acres fenced, cross-fenced, weeded, and fertilizing in the pastures, it was finally time to build our dream home. When the permits were pulled in 2015, we were told that there was a regulatory floodway through our property, and then this surprise cost us $10,000 because we had to hire an engineer to obtain a no-rise letter before the construction began. After 4 years, in 2016, after the usual summer rains, the creek unexpectedly crusted and our pastures flooded. In the 5 years where we lived, we had never experienced flooding in our pastures. This is what our pastures looked like prior. What we thought was just a fluke started to become a regular occurrence. The knee-high bahia grass in the pastures of our horses depended on the forage died because of the routine flooding. Every summer, roughly 12 acres of our 18 is swampland and forces us to purchase expensive hay and install hot wire so our horses don't have to live in a filthy swamp. In addition to the lost grazing area, we have witnessed 8 mature live oaks uproot and die because their root systems cannot survive repetitively being submerged, and this was before Hurricane Irma in 2017. These are the trees that died. Note the water line at the tree base. It's over 4 feet, and your Hillsborough County expert came to our property and surveyed that. So Hurricane Irma arrived after a 6-month drought and only 9 inches of rain. The creek was crusted and the stormwater was built onto our property. Our berms and our creeks were destroyed, and the fencing was swept away. 21 horses had to be kept in the barn.
Mr. Luttrell, I'm going to have to ask you to wrap it up. That was your time limit. So.
Yes, sir. I would respectfully ask that this is completely inconsistent with the plan and that you vote no. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. And next up, I will give it to Lene Luttrell.
Can the picture be displayed on the screen, please? Okay. Where is my time? Where's the time?
It's virtually, ma'am.
Where's the time clock so that I can see what my time limit is, sir?
I do not have a time clock in there.
There's not one in the room.
It is
Okay,
virtual.
I just ask that you wait for 1 second and before I get started.
I'll wait for you to start.
Thank you so much for this evening. My name is Lene Luttrell. My husband Travis and I have lived at 4708 Charlie Taylor Road for over a decade. I urge you to deny this proposal. The project area is surrounded by an environmentally sensitive watershed in an established rural community. This land use change is in direct conflict with the character of our area. This particular slide shows the existing rural character in orange. White shows the applicant's site. Orange shows the established rural communities. Yellow is recently approved proposed residential projects. The blue is a 600-acre wetland mitigation bank. The project sits along the Hillsborough County border, which creates a host of logistical concerns, ranging from emergency services to road maintenance. Swindell Road is a narrow country road with no lines, canopied with mature oak trees. Industrial zoning will destroy the charm of this quiet street. Land north of I-4 was historically zoned ag, vacant, and wetland for a reason which I will address. This recent request has been found inconsistent by Hillsborough County staff and Plant City staff. Plant City states development intensity should be clustered away from environmentally sensitive and resource-protected areas. Their code also discourages development within or adjacent to unique natural areas where activity will have detrimental effects. Allow me to show you some of those detrimental effects. This is the applicant project. On location, the location seems ideal on paper. It's close to I-4 County Line Road. It's a major trucking warehouse corridor. However, the topography of the project land to the north of I-4 is vastly different than the south of I-4, which is where the normal warehouses are located. The project area lies inside of the Itchipakasassa Creek watershed. It borders a wetland mitigation bank and sits in a 100-year floodplain that feeds a regulatory floodway. So let's zoom out even further so that you can get a greater appreciation for the watershed that this project will impact. The majority of this area is designated on all of Plant City's future land use maps as ag-rural due to its unsuitability for development. Land use policies strictly regulate development in these 100-year floodplains. The topography in this area causes stormwater to flow north, which is noted by the pink arrows. Many projects have been approved in the area by Plant City and Polk County who are now contributing to this watershed. From what I have personally observed, once the wave of stormwater from Polk County flows under I-4 next to their project, it has to use this 100-year floodplain as storage area before it can slowly squeeze underneath several choke points as it makes its way under Knights Griffin Road. Increasing resident risk is the fact that current building codes require new development to be built above today's flood base elevations, which are far higher than it was when our homes were established in this area. Residents depend on you to make decisions grounded in fact and science. We need your help to ensure the safety of the thousands of homes in this unincorporated area so that we can thrive in the rural lifestyle that is firmly established. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you candidly, and I ask that you find this inconsistent and vote for a denial per your staff's recommendation. And I'm sorry that was warp speed, but thank you for the time.
All right, next up we have, no. Just spoke. Jake's the applicant. Agatha, Cynthia Spidell. Okay. Austin Jones. Oh, that's a no. No for Jones. No for Baldwin. No. Lynn Browning. Is this the right one? Yeah, they just numbered it wrong.
Hi, my name is Lynn Browning, and I'm here on behalf of a interest at 113 Myrtle Lane. And my family has owned that since 1970. My father bought it, and he raised us 4 kids there and left it to me. I then gave it to my grandson, where he wants to build his dream home. But now that this is up for proposal, he's had considerations, of course, because of the water issues. When they put that much concrete right behind his house, which that's where this will be, it will just flood his home. It will flood his area. And he's already put a lot of money in this place. And also, what we have concerns with is the trucks. That is a one-car road, Swindale and Myrtle Lane. There's no way that it will be able to have the traffic that's coming to this area. So this is a residential area, and it's always been a nice country area where people can raise their family, and they want to continue to do that. And we hope that you vote no on this whole project so that we can still have a nice country residential homes. And that's what I came here to tell you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. Next up, we have. Is that Austin? Austin Mitchell.
Austin Mitchell, for the record. I come to you commissioners today because I own 113 Myrtle Lane. It backs up to the proposed project, a property that has been in my family for 4 generations. If approved, the surrounding area, it will be surrounded on 4 sides with industrial uses. I'm here to make a stand against what I believe is far too abrasive of a change. The same reason I'm standing here to oppose this project are the same reasons I would not be interested in purchasing a home surrounded by industrial zoning. I'm very concerned about the incompatibility of this industrial zoning change would bring to the current residential zoning surrounding this project. There are several environmental considerations that should be taken into account. Converting the residential and agricultural property into an industrial site could lead to pollution, excessive noise. And I would also like to point out, as these folks did, that it backs up to the Itchipakasassa Creek, which is a crucial watershed for Polk and Hillsborough County. And I believe adding 5 million square feet of impermeable surface will create a water problem for the already low area. Also, there will be an influx of heavy truck traffic in the area, never designed for the impact. There are other suitable locations for industrial development that would not encroach upon established rural residential neighborhood without sacrificing the peace and charm of our rural neighborhoods. If they believe that this area is not suitable for residential zoning, they should offer to buy us out at fair market value because it'll never sell once this project is completed. I urge you commissioners to consider the proposed change and explore alternative options that are more aligned with the residential nature of our community. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. All right, next up we have Melissa Walters.
Hello, I'm Melissa Waltons.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. I oppose and I'm totally against this. I have known, been a part of, family, this beautiful, quiet residential neighborhood of Myrtle Lane for over 50 years. Changing it to commercial and adding this big industrial area would be a horrible thing for this country community because of the traffic, big trucks, noise, water issues that it may cause. Please deny this. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Patricia Missy. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Missy Futch, and I live at 101 Myrtle Lane. Not only am I opposed to this because of everything else that everyone has said, but on in my yard, there is a grave site there. A gentleman by the name of Henry Bird is buried there, plus his 2 grandchildren. So I don't think that can be messed with, can it? I mean, when I bought the house, there was no burial or anything. I just happened to stumble upon it when I was planting flowers one day with my daughter, and I found it. So he's still there, haven't touched him. So he ain't messing with us, so he can stay right there as far as I'm concerned. But it is a quiet neighborhood. The roads will not support the traffic, so I'm here to oppose it.
Thank you. All right. Next up, we have Kate Bader. Bayor?
With the applicant.
Okay. And Jason Lewis.
Also with the applicant.
Okay. So we'll cut through this quick. All right. I'm just going to call them Araceli Esparza.
My name is Araceli Esparza. I'm just here to say that we are completely against it. We've lived at 109 Myrtle Lane for 13 years. My daughter was actually born there. So, sorry. I don't think an industrial actually fits that area. That's not what the community is about. It's actually, the reason why we bought the house, my husband, is because we saw the area. It's nice, it's quiet, like you don't have any issues with any of your neighbors. You don't have any problems walking your kids on the road, anywhere. If you decide to do anything industrial, everything's gonna have to change. Your kids are gonna be able to walk. You can't go around the neighborhood walking, take a stroll. One, traffic is gonna increase because they decided to do industrial over by Charlie Taylor Road. That intersection right there, you're constantly getting into car accidents almost every day just because they added the whole industrial part. So I can just imagine how bad it's gonna get in our area. But me, my husband, family, completely against it. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we have Eduardo Santoyo. For both? Okay. That's fine. All right. And we have a Patrick Zamar or Zaman. Okay. And last but not least, we have a Doug Metz. Doug.
Hi, my name is Doug Metz.
I live in Polk County on Swindell Road, and I'm here to deny this proposal because it simply doesn't fit. Just drive down Swindell Road. There's nothing other than this little industrial area that is a smidget of the proposed plan. It doesn't even compare in size. And the truth be known, we're not happy with that. It's a residential, rural, country area. It's that simple. This proposed plan by Plant City is wrong. It basically displaces everybody that lives there. I can't even fathom, I mean, you know what the impact's going to be. The watershed's going to be off the chart. This area is already prone to flooding. It's going to flood. We don't want more flooding. This plan is not going to, there's nothing they can do to stop that. That's going to happen. We like it because it's rural. It's vacant. It's wooded. It's a sanctuary for animals. The light pollution that's going to come from this proposal, we're going to have to live with day and night. Traffic, it's already bad. Swindell Road is traveled 10 times worse than it was 20 years ago. I live in a property that's 100 years old. My house is 100 years old. This is a lovely rural green space, wooded, and this proposal just completely changes that. I can't even imagine, I mean, progress is great, but this is the wrong area. The plan that Plant City has is wrong. This plan to develop in this area, it's not a good fit. I can't imagine, I mean, just drive it. This does not fit in this area. Every person that I speak with on my street, my neighbors, we're being surrounded by proposals in Polk County. I've got one 300 yards up my front door and 300 yards up my back door. Now I've got this one that's a mile as a crow flies from my house. And then there's another one just up the street on Charlie Taylor. It's going to completely change this area with watershed, wildlife and everything. I just can't even imagine that you would consider this being an option. And I'm here to deny, ask you to deny this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, that was all we had signed up for the public comment on. Oh, I missed them. All right. What? Come on up. Yeah. What was your name? Joshua. Oh, okay. We'll go ahead. We're glad to have you.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Josh Briggs. I live at 945 Country Oaks Lane, just on the Polk County side of the property, your guys' line. I agree with everything that a lot of these people said. What I want to touch on is when you build up, like the way this area is. I've been fighting Polk County. I've been with Swift Mud, fighting with Lakeland. I'm sure you guys got plenty of emails from me over the last 2 weeks. But when you build up around, like you can't build on wetlands, so you build up, right? So what that does is it creates a bowl. So we already got an area that's already wet and saturated with water, and we got a bowl that's being built up on the side. My property was built high back in 1996. Now it's null and void because of all the volume displaced that used to spread out, now can no longer spread out. So if you put a bunch of water in a little area, it's going to slow down and backfill. And that's what we're running into. So to put it in perspective, 1,000 square foot house on 1 inch of rain would generate 623 gallons of water, okay, if you were to store that. You multiply that by 100 houses at 1,000 square foot, you're filling up essentially one 18-foot tank in diameter by 32 feet high. That's just during a 1 inch rain event. That area gets 49 inches of rain every year. And that's not including, that's just rainfall. That has nothing to do with the water coming down, which in my area, it takes 3 days for the rest of Lakeland to get caught up to our area. And then with all the building and everything else going on, we're putting into our watershed, we're filling up. So it was like, you can only put so much in one little area. When you guys develop, You know, like for infrastructure, roads, when you got increased amount of traffic, you make it wider. Water pipes, you make them bigger. Sewer, bigger. But nothing gets touched on the drainage of the wetlands, the creek. There's no improvement done whatsoever in Hitchbeck has a creek watershed area. Every time you ask, we get told it's Swift Mud. Talk to Swift Mud, it's county. You know, then it's private property. So responsibly, there's a bigger problem here that nobody's willing to fix, and they just kick it down the thing. Developers will sit there and say, well, it's, you know, we retain the water. You're right, you retain the water in wetlands. But the problem is that water's got to go someplace, and half those retention ponds that are done are already halfway full of capacity as it is. They don't drain them all the way out, and you know, to store it. They don't let it drain during the dry season. It's so the water coming off, the volume that I mentioned, just flows right into the area that's already saturated. So I'm in denial of this. But I also ask, you know, that maybe we start getting together with Polk County, Swift Mud, and everything else to try to get this problem situated. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, so that was the last person, I think, unless anybody else has any more surprises in here for me. No? Okay. All right, so with that, I will turn it back over to the applicant now for a 3-minute response, if he would like.
Thank you. Jake Kramer again from Stearns Weaver Miller for the applicant. I'd first like to bring up our engineers to address the flooding concerns.
Good evening, Jason Lewis, Kinley Horn Associates, 109 South Kentucky Avenue, Lakeland, Florida. The majority of the development, or actually probably majority of it, is located out of the 100-year flood elevation. There was a study that was done in this area. All the floodplains that are adjacent to the site, a little bit within the site, there was established elevations. You can barely see it on the screen here, but there's kind of a hatched area on the northern side. That's the floodplain. Our development's out of that area. The development will be built above the 100-year flood elevation, and as part of our stormwater requirements that we have to do for both Plant City and the Water Management District, Southwest Florida Water Management District, we have to meet pre-post. For anything that leaves the site today, we can't increase that amount of water that leaves the site. We'll have stormwater ponds on site that sporadically around the site to be able to capture our stormwater from our site that treats and attenuates the stormwater, and that'll be all done through that process.
Thank you. I'd like to have Cynthia Spidell, our AICP planner, address some of the planning concerns.
Let me switch it back to the presentation. Thanks. Good afternoon, Cynthia Spidell, 401 East Jackson Street. Stearns Weaver and I have been sworn. There's just we don't have a lot of time, so I'm happy to answer any questions, but I just did want to get a few things on the record. And the one is that the appearance or the perception that a new use is being introduced into this area. And staff is always telling us, look at the Northeast Master Plan, look at the preferred land use map. Well, we did, and the preferred land use map does show a significant industrial and commercial node at the interstate and county line. So, additionally, this area was targeted for residential. I went through every map. The preferred land use scenario does not have any residential within this boundary. It's industrial, NP, RO, and agriculture. So when you look at when you break down those numbers, you're really switching the agricultural portion, which is actually an intense use of the land, to industrial. So you're switching that. The natural preservation portions you can see are mostly the wetlands, which are going to be preserved and protected through the PD site plan process. There will be a few that are impacted, but I think it's minuscule and the engineer can speak to that. But there is a 274-acre node at this location. So I just wanted to emphasize that. There are several comp plan policies that are in support of industrial. And page 56 of the Plant City Comprehensive Plan references a vacant land suitability analysis and recognizes the complexity of determining the amount of land necessary to accommodate industrial growth needs. So I think that's part of the reason why we're here. A lot of these plans were done 2008, a long time ago. They need to be updated. Land use goal number 2 specifically states to sustain the viability of existing and emerging commercial industrial areas. There is no doubt that this is an emerging area, and the comp plan contemplates existing and emerging trends. Land use policy 8.3.1, target development, encourage private investment to the create target development. Target development is this use. It's listed in the comp plan.
I'm going to have to ask you to wrap it up,
And
please.
I got
that
one
was your
left.
time.
Environmental policy 1.1.10 is to continue to attract environmentally compatible industrial development. This is light industrial. It's compatible. Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you.
to answer any questions.
All right. It's our turn. All right. Now to our commissioners for questions, comments, discussions of this item. Commissioner Buzza.
Could I ask the applicant's engineer to come up? There was and maybe I misheard. Is there a designated floodway? I know there's a clear difference between floodplain and floodway. Is there a designated floodway in this area? And I'm looking at the Pima map and I don't see it.
No, not on our property, there's not.
All right.
There's floodplain, but not floodway.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm going to raise the same concerns that a lot of the residents did about the flooding in this area. The flood zones were drawn in August 2008, which in Florida development that might as well be 40 years ago. The only area that I see here that's viable is the strawberry farm. Any kind of massive development here is going to create an impervious surface, so that floodplain is going to grow into the neighboring areas, so that's a serious concern. And then on the east side of the property, I see a lot of live oaks there and no access, so I'm assuming that was, contingent on the other properties. So we take that out too. That's some more area that's going to go from pervious to impervious. So I definitely think we have a flooding concern in this area. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Fernandez. Are there any more questions? Commissioner Buzza.
Well, I just want to, I've been through this a lot. I've done a long time on the Plant City Board and on this board. And sometimes emotions and passions get to us. But the use of the property, highest and best use, sometimes isn't what the neighbors want. That's unfortunate, but it's the case sometimes. And that would be the choice of this board on how they vote. The flooding issue that everyone's brought up has to be addressed at the time of the PD and permitting, which is not our purview. The traffic analysis has to be brought up at the PD process by the applicant, also not our purview. Stormwater is EPC and SwiftMud, not our purview. So we have to ask ourselves, is this property as a industrial piece buffered against county line proper for this neighborhood? That's really, you have to peel off stuff that's not in our purview. And once you do that and you look at the build-to-be, I cannot speak the rest of that word, but looking at that parcel, it is going to be very cut up no matter what you do with either residential or warehouse, because there is a fair amount of wetland delineation on this Pima map. I think the applicant has touched the right bases. There's going to be some folks that aren't happy with it, but I think backing up to county line and their development on the west side, which will be their west side of the county line, and access to I-4 makes this viable as a commercial or industrial parcel. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Buzza. Commissioner, I'm going to Commissioner Orton first, then I'll come back to you.
I just want to bring up a few items for the school board. This property is located to the east of two proposed school sites, an elementary school and a high school that are on Charlie Taylor and Midway, and another one is on Wilder and Sam Mellon Road. Those are two subdivisions or two plan developments that have been approved through Plant City. I know there are some other ones, but I just want to bring some numbers for those two subdivisions. One is Verrera, which was shown in the presentation. The other one is North Park Isle. Together, they are going to have 4,190 single-family detached and 950 townhomes for a total of 5,140 units, dwelling units, which can generate 918 elementary school students, 400 Eagle students, 635 high school students, 635 high school students for a total.
I apologize, I didn't zoom out and look at Polk County. The Polk County FEMA maps, flood maps have been updated in 2016, and their flood zones along the county line make it to Swindell Road. And then there is a straight truncation of the flood zone in Hillsborough County where it has not been updated. So there's a very, very high chance that the new flood maps will make it to Swindell Road from that retention mitigated area to the north. So I'm going to double down on my suspicion here. And as you guys know, I'm a GIS person, a professional at this, and those flood zones will change soon.
Thank you, Commissioner Fernandez. Commissioner Kress, I see you moving.
I'm normally very, I guess, sensitive to the need for more industrial land. I'm not that personally familiar with this area, but I will say from what I heard from the residents, I think one of the strongest aspects of the comprehensive plan is to make sure things are compatible with the neighborhood and the area. And from what I heard from the residents today, it doesn't seem to be, so I will be recommending inconsistent.
Thank you, Commissioner Kress. Commissioner Bowden.
Well, fortunately, earlier this year, I happened to sit in a session that talked about consistency versus predictability. Everything I've heard tonight was, even if it was consistent, it sounds like predictably, this will be a flood area. So based upon, looking out over 5, 10 years, predictably, this is going to be a flood area. So I cannot support this amendment.
Thank you, Commissioner Bowden. Any more? Commissioner Bernstein.
This may be more of a question for staff. The applicant made a number of arguments. Some, in fairness, not all, but some seem to be predicated upon the notion that the plan itself is outdated, is in need of updating, so forth. And I don't, care to venture my own opinion on that one way or another. But I guess my question to you and to your colleagues on staff is that, are we permitted to take that into account as a body, or, and I should start with the staff, is the staff permitted to take that into account, or is the staff essentially constrained by the plan as it exists today?
I would like to bring up that we are in the process of updating the preferred land use scenario map based on the length of time that it's been adopted and the development trends in the market and those things that influence the development of an area. However, the adopted map and the adopted master plan is what we rely on. It has been endorsed and embraced by the community, and until we replace it or update it or revise it, we don't diverge from using the adopted version. So, but we are in the process, and we hope to, by the beginning of next year, have revisions, not wholesale, but in very targeted areas to address some of the concerns that we're seeing as a result of development trends and just changes in how people want to live, and how the master plan has addressed that.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Ms. Ornita, I see you're ready.
If I could add to that, just to expand on what Krista said, the Plant City Comprehensive Plan was updated in 2016, and the master plan is a part of the comprehensive plan. So while the master plan and some of the trends that we're seeing may have started to change, in 2016, when the overall comprehensive plan was updated, no changes to the master plan were recommended at that time. So it wasn't, it's not as if it hasn't been evaluated. I mean, it's not that, that's not that long ago, but it's getting long. In addition, I would just say that, yes, staff's analysis is consistency with the adopted Plant City Comprehensive Plan, and that is what should guide your decision-making as well.
Thank you. All right. Are there any more comments or questions, discussion items from the commissioners? Anybody have any more thoughts? I am not seeing any at this time, so going once, going twice, it is gone. I'm going to close the public comment on this item and open it up to motions from the commissioners for this item before us. Commissioner Fernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to make a motion for the City of Plant City PC CPA 2215 from Hillsborough County Residential 1 to agricultural, and agricultural rural 15 to Plant City Industrial, inconsistent with the Plant City Comprehensive Plan, and forward this recommendation to the Plant City Commission.
All right, that's an inconsistency finding by Commissioner Fernandez. Commissioner Bowden?
I second that motion.
All right, and a second to that motion by Commissioner Bowden. Any more discussions, comments, or questions from the commissioners? Seeing none at this time, I would like to ask the clerk to go ahead and do a roll call vote on this item.
Bernstein,
Yes.
Bowden,
Yes.
Buzza,
No.
Kress,
Yes.
Fernandez,
Yes.
Soria,
Yes.
Joseph.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried 6-1. Commissioner Buzza voted no.
Thank you. All right, that was our only action item. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. This meeting is adjourned.
Okay, they're back on. Okay.
Okay. Everybody in the room, quiet down, quiet down. We're back. I have to read us into our second meeting because we adjourned the first meeting, but we have another meeting to start up here. All right, so let me read us in. Welcome, everybody, to the June 12th, 2023 public hearings of the Planning Commission on Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan Amendments. We thank you for attending this meeting. Your comments and participation are encouraged. For those attending in person and wishing to speak on any agenda item, please sign the register at the rear of the room and turn off any devices that may be a distraction. To minimize feedback in the audio, all online participants in the meeting will be muted until it is their opportunity to speak. Planning commissioners should unmute themselves to indicate that they would like to speak. Please be sure to state your name at the beginning of your remarks for the benefit of the clerk. There will be an opportunity for members of the public to provide comments. When your name is called, you will be unmuted when it is your turn to speak. Please wait until the chair calls on you to begin speaking. State your name at the beginning of your comments and adhere to the time limits. If anyone has difficulties or is watching via HTV and would like to provide comments to be included in the record for the local government hearing, please email them to planner@plancom.org. For those of you who are not familiar with our process, the meeting will be conducted as follows. The agenda item will be introduced. Staff will give their presentation with a 15-minute time limit. The applicant will be given the opportunity to make a presentation with a 15-minute time limit. Following presentations, members of the public may address the Planning Commission when recognized by the chairman. Public comment will be heard for 3 minutes per person. The applicant will be afforded a 3-minute period for rebuttal response. Planning commissioners will then ask questions. Public comment will be closed. Then upon a motion, a second, and discussion, a vote will be taken. With that, I would like to ask the clerk to go ahead and call roll, please. Is the clerk still with us?
The clerk's gone.
Well, we can't have the meeting without the clerk. Can we? Well, can somebody call them and get them back to?
Yeah, let me see.
Turn around, turn the lights back.
Yeah, stand by. We're trying to see if we can get the clerk in.
Term, yeah, I can't say adjournment anymore because people just book it to the bar, apparently.
All right, the clerk is in the session, looks like. We just need to make sure they can hear us.
Okay.
Give me a sec. I just got back on the line.
Okay.
Thought we weren't done. Sorry about that. Let's see. Can I get a quick audio test, please?
I don't know, I'm trying to think of the right words.
1 2 1 2.
Test 1 2 1 2.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So is everybody ready to go now? Okay. All right. So we need the roll call now. If you're ready, please, clerk.
Did you call the meeting to order? I'm sorry.
Yeah. We're called to order. I read us in, and I was asking for the roll call.
Okay.
I do have to do it again because the clerk's here now. Technically, should it? No.
Yeah. Yes, please, because I did miss the opening.
Well, what do you say? Do it again?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, I'll just go ahead and officially call us to order then. And then I'll ask you to go ahead and take a roll call after that.
Okay. Bernstein?
Here.
Bowden?
Here.
Cardenas? Commissioner Cardenas? Buzza?
There we go. I'm here.
Fernandez?
Here.
Handy? Commissioner Handy? Kress?
Here.
Louth? Commissioner Louth? Surya?
Here.
Orton?
Here.
Rodriguez? Commissioner Rodriguez? Joseph?
Here.
I think you have quorum.
All right. I've been advised that I should read us in one more time just so I get the intro on the record to the clerk. So I'm going to read this again one more time here just so you can have it on the official record. So everybody bear with me one more time again. Welcome, everyone, to the June 12, 2023 public hearings of the Planning Commission on Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan Amendments. We thank you for attending this meeting. Your comments and participation are encouraged. For those attending in person and wishing to speak on any agenda item, please sign the register at the rear of the room and turn off any devices that may be a distraction. To minimize feedback in the audio, all online participants in the meeting will be muted until it is their opportunity to speak. Planning commissioners should unmute themselves to indicate that they would like to speak. Please be sure to state your name at the beginning of your remarks for the benefit of the clerk. There will be an opportunity for members of the public to provide comments. When your name is called, you will be unmuted when it is your turn to speak. Please wait until the chair calls on you to begin speaking. State your name at the beginning of your comments and adhere to the time limits. If anyone has difficulties or is watching via HTV and would like to provide comments to be included in the record for local government hearing, please email them to planner@plancom.org. For those of you who are not familiar with our process, the meeting will be conducted as follows. The agenda item will be introduced. Staff will give their presentation with a 15-minute time limit. The applicant will be given the opportunity to make a presentation with a 15-minute time limit. Following presentations, members of the public may address the Planning Commission when recognized by the chairman. Public comment will be heard for 3 minutes per person. The applicant will be afforded a 3-minute period for a rebuttal response. Planning commissioners will then ask questions. Public comment will be closed. Then upon a motion, a second, and discussion, vote will be taken. We are now meeting officially. Our first item of business will be action item 2A, HCCPA 21-27, Comprehensive Plan Map Amendment, Miller Road and State Road 60, and the presenter is Carla Llanos.
Carla Llanos with Planning Commission staff. This is HCCPA 2127, State Road 60 and Miller Road. You have seen this one request before. It has changed, so we'll be going through the current changes. Initially, this is a privately initiated small-scale comprehensive plan map amendment. It began back in the October 21 cycle. So you've seen it come through as a Res 20 request. Now the request has changed and it is going from Res 4 and 9 to Res 12. The location of the site is currently in the Valrico area along the eastern border of the Hillsborough County jurisdictional boundary. It's not within a planning community or a community plan right now. There is research currently going for to create a Valrico community plan, but it has not been finalized and it's still under analysis. I'm not sure when that would be coming into play or maybe being adopted. I can't anticipate maybe a year or so from now. But it is within the urban service area, so. Now, the subject site has quite a bit of going on, right? We have general commercial uses. You do have some office up to the north of the property. You have retail, several retail. You do have a retail plaza on the other side of Valrico Road. You have another one on the other side of Miller Road. Now, you do have some single-family residential use, which is located down to the south, as I'm pointing with my arrow. And you also have single-family located on the other side of Miller Road, also, as I'm pointing with my arrow. Now, on the western side of the subject site, you will find multifamily, small multifamily community. This is townhomes, and there was an application in for 2126, which was 2 parcels away, but that was actually denied by the Board of County Commissioners, so it didn't move forward at all. So now the applicant has requested to revise the application and to present it before the Planning Commission once again. Now, this is a couple of pictures of the subject site, so you're a little bit familiar. This is the frontage on State Route 60. You're looking at the entrance facing west. You have here another picture on State Route 60. You're looking at the entrance, but you're facing south on it. And then you have the southeast intersection of Miller Road and State Route 60, so this is the view. And then this is heading south on Miller Road. You do have the shopping plaza, which is to the left on your screen, but it's off-site, you can't really see it. So the adopted future land use categories is, again, residential 4. This allows you 4 dwelling units an acre or 0.25 floor area ratio. The other portion of it is residential 9, again, 9 dwelling units an acre. You do have an increase of 0.50. Both of those combined, they yield, well, actually, I'll talk about that in the impact statements. But the request, what they're asking for is Res 12. So that is 12 dwelling units an acre, but the floor area ratio actually stays the same. So it's 0.50. Now, surrounding the entire property, you do have residential 6, you have office commercial 20. Over on Valrico Road, you do have a little bit of residential 20, as you can see on the screen by St. Cloud Avenue, which is over here. And the majority of the area is a combination between Res 9, some Res 4 down to the south, and you have pockets of Res 6. There isn't Res 12 within proximity, but this would be a good transitional type of future land use category between the more intensity of the OC 20 and the Res 20 and all the other combination of densities nearby. Now, under the impacts, so existing under the Res 4 and the Res 9, you'll get up to 119 dwelling units, or 301,000 square feet of non-residential use. Under the proposed, you're obtaining about 221 dwelling units, and then 402,000 square feet of non-residential use. There is a cap for retail under this category. The retail is capped at 175,000 square feet, or whatever it is subject to locational criteria, but that doesn't get reviewed now, it gets reviewed at the rezoning stage. Now, overall, this does allow for mixed use on all of the property. It does increase the residential density and the non-residential intensity. But that's basically it. The applicant did, again, they reduced the amount that they were originally given a recommendation for approval on. Again, they went from Res 20 down to Res 12. Planning Commission staff reviewed the requests per the comprehensive plan policies, and we found that it was consistent with the urban service area policies, the timing of growth. It does have all of the public facilities within proximity to the site. It's within the urban service area. It does have your water, your EMS, everything within that location. So this is ideal location for that. It has all of the urban services. We also compared it to compatibility standards. This is a good transitional use. You want to keep the more intense densities towards the road. State Route 60 is a high intensity corridor. So you want to keep those medium to high densities there to create a buffer and a transition away from that single family, which is located to the south. And with that said, Planning Commission does recommend that the HCCPA 2127 be found consistent with the goals, objectives, and policies of the unincorporated Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan. and we recommend forwarding this recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners. You have a full analysis in your staff report. If you do have any questions regarding any of the agency comments, feel free to ask.
Thank you. Does the applicant have a presentation?
Good evening. Lise Batzel, Stearns Weaver Miller, 401 East Jackson Street. We do have a couple members of our team here tonight, as well as the developer is online in case there's any kind of questions about the specific development. As Carla mentioned, you have seen this before. I want to talk just a little bit and go back to October of 2021. The request at that time was Res 20. This board, I believe, unanimously recommended approval of the Res 20. That went forward through a number of zoning processes, and the comp plan amendment just kind of slid along that process. We had interface with the community, and we heard the community along the way and made changes to the plan, significant changes, which I'll talk about just conceptually because I understand this is a comprehensive plan amendment. But I think it's important for you to understand how we got from Res 20 to Res 12. So here we are today after you can see the multitude of hearings that we've gone through. I will say that at the first hearing, there were a lot of people in the room, and I feel like Ms. Rodriguez and Mr. Boothie and I are friends at this point in time because we've been along this journey since 2021, and I think that we've, you know, at least there's a lot of mutual respect in this process. So this is a small-scale comprehensive plan amendment. Just looking at this, I really liked the photograph that Carla put up. You can see how this area is really already a suburban area. It is significantly built out with commercial, with retail. There's industrial in the area. There's office in the area, and it's right along State Road 60. As you know, State Road 60 is a corridor that is intended for support a mix of retail, commercial, industrial, and high-density residential uses. That is what your comprehensive plan says about this corridor. The frontage is on 60. Carla's already spoken about all of the commercial that is around there, the more intense development, but I did just want to note that for your records. So this is just a glimpse into where we have been. The initial application, of course, for the comp plan was Res 20. We did start out with a request for 312 dwelling units per acre. That was 16.89 dwelling units per acre. We went back and were remanded actually twice through the zoning hearing master process to make specific changes to the plan. And as part of that remand and the course of the changes to this development plan over time, we actually significantly reduced density and we lopped stories off buildings, all to try to address the compatibility concerns that the neighborhood raised during these various hearings. So this is just a, you know, a visual glimpse of that, but I did want you to understand the history. So before I talk and turn it over to Isabel, I do want to say that there was another comp plan amendment that came right before this one at the Board of County Commissioners, and it was also the one that Carla alluded to slightly to the west. Their request was also a request for Res 20, and it failed. And so we took a good clue from that, and we asked to come back and really think about what our options would be. We settled on Res 12 instead of Res 16 for a very specific reason. Because once we redesigned this plan to accommodate all of the issues that the neighbors had asked about, reducing the number of units, but also taking stories off of buildings, we realized that we didn't need 16 units per acre. One of the concerns raised by the Board of County Commissioners is I think the land use classification is too high. And so the proposal before you is to change this to Res 12. We are going to ask the Board of County Commissioners for a very slight gray water density bonus as an option, and I can talk to you about what that is, but that would take it from 12 units per acre to 13.9, but that is a statutory bonus that you get if you install this reuse gray water system, which is the idea is for water conservation. They want you to put those types of projects here. I think Hillsborough County has approved one such project, so this would be the second project. But again, that's for zoning, but I did just want to be very transparent about the density with you. At this point in time, I want to talk, introduce Isabel Albert, who is our AICP certified planner, just to talk about why you should support this amendment. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. Isabel Albert again for the record. Again, I was here a couple months ago, but anyways. So as our team has showed you, you have seen this before. You have recommended support for this for 20 units to the acre. And again, why would you support this amendment? For the same reasons. This is a great infill. You see the majority of the area along the corridor is already developed. It's developed with commercial, residential, and higher residential towards the east, as you saw with the Res 20. So this is perfect, and this is what the comprehensive plan sees. You know, wherever there's infill, there should be some residential higher density for these areas. Very important, it is also located in the urban service area. And being that it's in the urban service area, this is where you would encourage the higher densities because for numerous reasons, because utilities are there. It's along major corridors and all of the things that you would see in an urban area. And it's just to point out again, it's like over 1.5 miles away from the limits of the urban service area. It's also located along the main transit corridor. That's very important for having access to walkability to transit. And most importantly is to eliminate the strip commercial. This site is already approved for 75,000 square feet of commercial, and what this amendment would help us with our development, for plan development, to eliminate that. And also that also follows one of the policies in the comprehensive plan. These are all the policies that Carla went through. I'm not going to go through them again, but these are all the, you know, the reason why this should be supported. And again, to help you out, this is why you recommended approval last time, and here's a reminder of why this should be again approved. I'm here if you have any questions.
Thank you. All right. We had one person sign up for this virtually. Matthew Riney, or Ryan. My apologies if I'm mispronouncing the last name. Is Matthew on the line? Or did you dump Matthew when we cut off last time?
I do not see Matthew.
Okay. Well, that was the only person we had sign up, and it was virtual. So with that, I will turn it over to the planning commissioners for comments or do we? Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry about that. I have Charles Both.
My name's Charles Bothian. I live at 2303 Highway 60, which is adjacent to this proposed development. I've lived there for over 40 years. We agree in 2015 they changed the zoning to Res 4 and Res 9, which we went along with all that. Nothing has been done with that property. No action has been taken on it, and then they wanted to go to Res 20, which was denied by the county commissioners. So now they want to go to Res 20, or to Res 12, I'm sorry. But then when they get their gray water, credits, what it ends up being is there's still going to be 250-something rental apartments there. What is around, I've lived there 40 years, we have townhomes where most of the people own their homes. But we're just against high-density, high-rise apartments. I mean, I've been there for 40 years. It's still has a country charm. It's still some rural to it. It's going to devastate our community if you let this go. We have no problem with the way it's zoned now. It almost seems like the developers get in there and they're going to zone it for Res 4, Res 9, and then when nothing happens to it, then they want to go double down on it or triple down on it. And I just wish you'd take that into consideration. And it's not just myself and Elizabeth here. We've got a lot of people in the community. When we came to the Board of County Commissioners, we had 50 signatures. There's all kinds of people that had emailed in and written letters in, and this is something that the community just doesn't want, that high density of apartment buildings there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. All right, Elizabeth Becker.
My name's Elizabeth Rodriguez Belcher.
Belcher, sorry.
It's okay. I live at 406 South Miller Road. I'm a native Floridian, born and raised, pretty much in Valrico. I know that this property is going to get developed. What my concern is that it's a high-density development. And my major concerns are the height of the building, because we are primarily single-family area. I mean, if you look at the maps that are on record, they're primarily yellow. So I do not think that this is compatible or consistent. This was already rezoned. We were here in 2015 when they asked to rezone it to Res 4 and Res 9. I do want to bring out again that Valrico does not have a comprehensive plan. So I really feel like we keep putting the cart before the horse. Our infrastructure, 60 is a emergency evacuation road. The FDOT is not going to expand that road or widen it anytime soon. They said at best 2019. Right now, our infrastructure, as it is in Hillsborough County, does not support what we have now. So Highway 60 is a major artery, and then it funnels us to our homes on 2-lane highways. I walk every day with my daughter to elementary school. I use the sidewalk. I'm pretty much the only one that uses the sidewalk. It's not a safe area to walk. They have fixed it. There's areas that still don't have sidewalks. Another issue that I found is that the water supply in Hillsborough County is significantly stressed. So if we keep adding these high-density housing, it's going to put more and more strain on this. We talked about traffic congestion. I've been to public meetings, town hall meetings. I'm trying to get as much involved in the community and these comprehensive plans. We have a public meeting tomorrow. We are number 2 in speeding and aggressive driving in Hillsborough County. That is a safety issue for the residents that are here now. I understand that there's going to be growth, but we need to plan accordingly and responsibly. Valrico is a rural mixed community, and primarily people own their homes. So we kind of want to keep that character. If we don't have character, I don't know what we're going to leave our kids with. I don't believe stacking us up in little compartments like sardines is going to improve our quality of life. As a resident and a citizen, we have the right to have, protect our property values, our privacy. All that is being jeopardized with high-density apartments. Now, I know that they reduced it from 4 to 3, and we do have 3 apartment complexes in the area, but none of them exceed 3 stories, and primarily they're 2-story. Valrico Station is I'm sorry, and that's all my time. So thank you for my time and your time. Have a great day.
Thank you for your comments. All right, rebuttal. You have a 3-minute response.
Would you let me know, please, Clerk, when I have 1 minute? Hopefully I won't take
Sure.
For the record, Elise Batzel again. Just a quick comment on traffic. We did a traffic analysis as requested by the Planning Commission and approved by your CIP department. It's late. And we addressed their concerns in that transportation analysis, and that is part of your record. There is some misunderstanding about what happened in 2012. In 2012, they didn't come in for a rezoning, but the owner at the time flexed and asked for a flex. So the comp plan wasn't changed at that time, and it wasn't actually a rezoning. It was a request for a flex that I believe was approved. I also want to point out that today on this property, I emphasized this a lot when we were going for Res 20, there are 75,000 square feet of commercial approved by right today and 89 townhomes. The traffic generation that comes from the approved development today compared to what we are requesting as part of the PD is unbelievably and substantially less than what it could be generated and built today. Again, Ms. Albert talked about the fact that you have in your comprehensive plan specific policies that try to eliminate strip commercial. right? You have strip commercial going all the way up 60, and the idea is put uses like high-density residential in between to break up those uses, and that's exactly what this project would do. There was some talk about speeding. I mean, obviously, those aren't things to address at the comprehensive plan amendment, and we have laws on the books. But I do want to say that there are a number of transportation improvements, site access improvements, that we have to do as part of the rezoning. So that area will improve greatly when this is redeveloped. Can you put oh, I'm here. And I just want to quickly show this map of surrounding sidewalks. Even though the sidewalks may need to be improved, I'm not sure about the situation that she's talking about, there is an integral pedestrian connectivity already existing in this neighborhood. We are also going to improve that by adding—
1 minute, Ms. Baskel.
Yes, thank you. By adding sidewalks and integrating this site with the surrounding area. So that is all I have. We are here to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. All right. Now to the commissioners for our discussion, questions, comments. Commissioner Fernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, here we are again. 80% of this property is in a flood zone A. I'm not sure why that's not in the commission's reports. We seem to be reminded of the coastal high hazard area often, yet the only area of this property that's not in a flood zone is the back of the very back of the property. So, you know, maybe there's a reason this property hasn't been developed yet, and in my professional opinion, it shouldn't be developed when that much of it is in a flood zone. And I brought up the year of the flood zone. This one is also from 2008. So once LIDAR is applied, the newest LIDAR, impervious surface analysis, again, I bet it's going to grow. So this is just a no for me. We just shouldn't be building in FEMA flood areas, and I think that maybe we should be required to look at that, because I know I check at every property we go over, but then I'm the only one who has to alert everybody that this property is in a flood zone. The last property with its flood issues as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Fernandez. Are there any other comments or questions on this one from the commissioners? All right, going once, going twice, and I'm going to go ahead and close down the public comment on this one and open it up to motions from the commissioners on this item. Commissioner Bernstein.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time, I would move that we find HCCPA 21-27 consistent with the goals, policies, and objectives of the Hillsborough County Comprehensive Plan, and that we pass that along to the Hillsborough County Commission, or Board of County Commissioners, for their consideration.
Commissioner Buzza?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion of consistency finding by Commissioner Bernstein. Second to that motion by Commissioner Buzza. Is there any more discussion, questions, or comments from the commissioners on this one? Not seeing any, then I will ask the clerk to go ahead and do a roll call vote on that.
Bernstein?
Yes.
Bowden?
Yes.
Buzza?
Yes.
Fernandez?
No.
Crest?
Yes.
Soria?
No.
Joseph?
No.
Motion carried 4-3. Commissioners Fernandez, Soria, and Joseph voted no.
All right, thank you very much. And that is all we had on this agenda for tonight. So now we are officially adjourned for the night. Good night, everyone.
Now you can turn it off.
Meeting adjourned.